Hey everybody, today it's in purely in English with a purely Slovakian friend whose name is Sergei Strainak. He's PhD, he's Dr. Sergei Strainak, should I say. Hello, Sergei.
Hello, Stanislav.
Should I call you Dr. Sergei? No, Dr. Strainak?
No, it's not necessary, but yes, I am, but it's okay.
I met yesterday Sergei in Facebook. It's not first time in my podcast when I meet my guests in Facebook, and right away we just extending our text conversation with podcasting. This is one of that beautiful moments, and Sergei is very open personality. He said, yes, let's go ahead, let's do it.
Yes.
So Sergei in Slovakia,
exactly.
I'm in Canada, and we will be talking on European matters mainly. Even Sergei, I know he visited Montreal, he visited Canada, and enjoyed it, right?
Yes, it was 8 years ago. I visited according to my PhD study. I had one publication there, so yes, I was there. It was very, very, very beautiful city
Montreal.
And perfect moments for my life.
Yeah, Montreal is special. I live in Western Canada. Montreal is beautiful, but more job here on West. That's how it happens. And Sergei, PhD again. And when I talk about PhD, I always want to lower my voice. I'm just kind of bowing. I mean, big deal. No, respect, Dr. Strainak. And
Not a problem.
For that. And one of your practical projects now, it's application which called Invest Ukraine IP. IP
Yes.
stands industrial parks, correct?
Exactly.
And you have also you started with Invest Slovakia IP,
Yes.
right?
I can introduce maybe a little bit about this. It was 1 year ago because in previous I was working for Slovak Investment and Trade Development Agency. This is agency according to investment potential. Right now I'm working in IT industry sector like automatization test designer, but in my free time I developed application especially for iPhone and Android as well, but iPhone is for me better. And I had an idea because I like Ukraine because my great grandfather came from Ukraine, from Tarnopol, and now I have Ukrainian girlfriend. She's living with me in Košice. And I had the idea that why not create some application according to the investment potential of Ukraine and industrial parks of Ukraine to connect this investment and new technology, like, for example, iPhone. And I developed this application. Of course, I contacted the officially Ministry of Economic Development of Trade of Ukraine if I can use the officially information for each industrial park. And now I have all information, and every new version of this application is more better and have more information, new pictures, new information as well, and so.
You contacted ministry in Ukraine. Was it easy to contact them? You just sent email and they answered right away?
Yes, it was. By the way, it was very easy because I found official information about industrial parks, and it was the name about head of these industrial parks of industry. And I contacted, and he was very friendly. He replied to me back, and right now, after 1 year, I can say that everything is perfect, and we are like friends right now.
Good.
And when I need something, for example, for application, he can give me this information, and he shared this application in a lot of fan pages in Ukraine, according to the investment potential and industrial parks.
So this application now available in App Store and in Google Play for Android, right?
Yes, but for App Store, it's much more better because my priority is iPhone. But I developed for Android as well. It's possible to download in Google Play as well, but it's very, very light version. It will be developed next month, but now it's only like child version or something else for Google Play.
So, I went to Android and I was trying to first search in Android Google Play, and I searched Ukraine Invest keywords and nothing came up. I mean, came up a lot of application, but not yours. Then I directly entered Invest Ukraine IP and I found this way.
Yes, thanks for feedbacks. This I know because this is two different sources or something. Because for Apple, I'm much more familiar with Apple and I know where it especially add the keywords. Yes, for example, what are you looking, and you can find. And for Google Play, I added this version, but I didn't add the keywords for that. Yes, so it's only right now possible to find by the name.
Yeah, I'm telling you, Sergey, when I was searching for by keywords, I got a bunch of links, and one of first link was Ukrainian flags link, and with but with broken image of Ukraine without Crimea. So what I done instantly and automatically, I pressed complaint button and said, "Hey guys, fix it. It's it's inappropriate. It's a political moment, but you understand, right?"
Yes, by the way, I have like officially logo for this application for Apple App Store, and I have this from ministry, and of course, it's Crimea is there. That's of course.
Yeah, it's internationally recognized borders. It's not even Ukraine recognize it. It's internationally. But topic is different now. Investing to Ukraine. Yeah. So you are in Slovakia. Where are you in Slovakia exactly?
I'm living in Košice. Košice is only 100 kilometers from the border of Ukraine. It's the second biggest city in Slovak Republic.
Okay, good to know it's second. I heard name, of course, and probably I even visited briefly, but I had a trip, train trip via Slovakia, through Slovakia from Poland. So we stopped in couple cities, and we'll talk about Slovakia maybe a little bit later. Can you tell me, no, let's do it right now. Can you tell me what is now in Slovakia? What time is it now? To me, I was impressed how much people busy, like everyone looks stressed out comparing to Ukraine, say, or even to Canada. Canada is famous for laid-back approach to to business. No, I mean, in good words, laid-back, it can be good. Slovakia looks like working hard nation, which I respect a lot. And as I heard from many sources that Slovakia has that time which Poland had like decade ago when it was Balcerowicz time. It's a shock therapy, so-called, and Slovakia has something like this now. Am I correct about shock therapy time Slovakia now?
Yes, you are right, and maybe I can tell that yes, for example, people in the Slovak Republic are hardworking or hard workers, but I think in Ukraine as well. I knew a lot of developers from Lviv city, and these guys are one of the best in the IT sector. So I think that Ukraine had or maybe will have next 10, 20 or 30 years very big potential, not only for IT, but for a lot of other industrial stuff or something else. So I think that people in Ukraine are similar with Slovak people in the field of working.
For now, Ukraine has very interesting moment. Let's characterize what's happening in Ukraine. Ukraine has this kind of very libertarian president and his party in power, but he doesn't know how to use it. I mean, in full gear. He's trying now. He still has like 3 years ahead of him to do that. And Slovakia, I heard, you had this premier, starting with letter K, I forgot his last name, who actually, like Balcerowicz in Poland, right? Who really like switched gear in Slovakia.
Yes, but we have, I don't know, because we have new prime minister from 1 month ago, and now like the situation in Slovak Republic it's like different or on other way, like maybe half years ago, because it's like other political stuff. But only one I want to tell, because I have Ukrainian girlfriend and I know that in Ukraine now the president is like very open for investment and for industrial parks as well, I think.
You know, I'm following this subject of industrial parks for long. I'm a big fan of this approach. I used to work in Canada when I just came to Canada in industrial park. So I know like how it looks like from inside. Ukrainian government talking about industrial parks already for 10 years maybe. And started some, how to say, considering industrial parks, let's say. But what's special about today, in my opinion, is that President Zelensky and those young Ukrainians, I think they start understanding it has to be not just putting something in words and it start magically developing. It has to be like different approach. It has to be some modern liberal approach. They're trying to deal with corruption in different way like before. They're not corrupt at all, it's my opinion, personal, I mean top leadership. And they don't have this very corrupt background, comparing to ex-elites, they don't have it in big extent, and they don't understand and tolerate corruption. This is what's special. But they still don't know how to switch the gear. What I'm saying, like how to bring it to new rails. You know, when you enter from Slovakia, Ukraine in train, they changed rails. Do you know it?
Yes, of course. Because yes. This is, by the way, this is from my point of view, it's like not like big problem, but I remember when I visited many times Lviv, I was traveling by train. I was waiting on the border maybe 3 hours at all because it was necessary to use another like train. It's about centimeters.
Yeah. It's not. They're not changing rails. They're changing in train the wheels. I mean, this.
The wheel, yes, and that was. For me, like tourist, was very bad, but I can't imagine, for example, for investors that will be as well not so good because it's time and time is money, yes. And
true. You enter Ukrainian market with European experience. You used to have different rails, and Ukraine says, "Hey, yeah, you're welcome, but here is our rails." So what they trying to do, and they start understanding in Ukraine, I think the government that rails have to be the same. Because losing speed, what you mentioned, it has to be switching rails has to be like almost close to zero when you entering Ukraine. Now about investment potential in Ukraine. How you see the investment potential in Ukraine?
Yes, from my point of view, Ukraine now and in 10 years, 20 years in the future, it will be country with very, very, very big potential for investments. From a lot of investors, like from automotive, chemical industry, and from my point of view, very big for IT, information technology. For example, for IT, you don't need a highway. Yes, you need only like brains. And in Ukraine, you can find a lot of developers, a lot of very good developers, and IT is the future. So from my point of view, Ukraine will be a country with big potential in Europe, because it's a very big country, a lot of people is living there, a lot of clever people, and yes, I think it's about industrial parks. A lot of industrial parks. It's a lot of agricultural lands, for example. So not only for heavy industry or light industry, but for agriculture as well. So I think Ukraine will be very, very,
Sergey,
very good country for investment.
Can you compare this to Slovakian potential? Just to understand better,
yes,
what do you mean? What do you mean? I mean, to differentiate it somehow.
Yes, of course. For example, only I can compare with three sectors. First sectors will be, for example, IT. In IT, when I was in Lviv, I saw Lviv IT cluster. Roman Starecki is the head of investment in Lviv. He showed me this information, and it's like officially. And the Lviv IT cluster right now has 200 companies from all the world and internal companies from Ukraine. For example, I compare with Slovakia, it's not possible, yes, because we don't have such kind of big IT cluster. Of course, we have something, but not so big. According to, for example, heavy industry, I think that Ukraine has very good experience in the past because they in Ukraine were developed, for example, I think submarines, yes, or tanks as well. And chemical industry as well. So I think that when you compare, for example, Slovak Republic and Ukraine, it's very big to compare because it's like you compare one small country and one big country. Yes, Ukraine is like country without any borders or something.
And Lviv is second cluster after Kiev, and we have Kharkiv cluster, IT cluster, and Odessa IT cluster. So so we have a lot.
By the way, yes, but I have right now information about only Kiev and Lviv, but of course Odessa is very big city, and so of course it's clustered there as well. So yes, it's not possible, or it's hard to compare. Yes, because for example in Slovak Republic we don't have a city with 1 million citizens.
When we're talking about industrial parks, in my understanding, with Canadian experience, it's not only about Silicon Valley Industrial Park, right, which is very special, and not only about IT. It's also about agriculture.
Yes, and automotive, for example, as well.
Automotive, yes. I just want to understand for myself, Sergey, when we talk about industrial parks in Ukraine and Slovakia, do they understand that industrial park it's not only about IT? Or they dreaming
of course,
about
not only
Silicon Valley always?
Yes, of course, because for IT you don't need to have industrial parks. Yes, you need only offices and that's all. Of course, and like clever people for example, developing. But industrial parks are This is very good. That for example, industrial parks you can add to regions. Yes, and in regions you can give a lot of jobs positions for the people. I saw, for example, in Slovak Republic, because we opened maybe 10 years ago or 15 years ago a lot of industrial parks in eastern Slovakia, and a lot of people have jobs positions, had jobs. And this is possible to Ukraine as well. Right now, when I check these industrial parks, a lot of are empty. But this is the future in the future will be not empty. It will be, I think, a lot of investors there, like automotive, machine industry, and so on. And it's possible to add jobs to people in regions in Ukraine, not only to big cities like Lviv, Odessa, Nikolaev, and so, but in a little bit as well.
This is the beauty of industrial parks. That's what I was trying to explain to some Ukrainians in Facebook. That's why I'm asking. I don't think they exactly understand that it's not like Silicon Valley industrial park always. I used to work in an industrial park in northern Montreal myself, and it was manufacturing, really industrial, where workers working with batalange. It's French word. It's Montreal, right? You know what's batalange? Lunchbox.
Yeah.
So they work with lunchbox in heavy boots, like Dr. Martens. I used to have Dr. Martens, classical workers' boots. And we were manufacturing industrial pieces for actually construction industry. Industrial park can be really in suburban area, as you just mentioned, and bringing a lot of job quickly to a lot of local people. And it's
exactly how you told right now. Yes, this is not only like Silicon Valley, because Silicon Valley is something totally different. But like normal industrial parks, for example, like we have in Slovak Republic or in Poland, it's like that. You can in region, it's for example not development region where it's very bad. For example, with the jobs, you can add industrial parks and add a lot of jobs position for a lot of people, not only for example for IT engineers, but for a lot of people there.
And fast. So all you need, my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong. All you need road to bring people there and to bring transportation with goods. Just road, right? Then you need infrastructure like water, like sewage system, some basic things, right? Like for every building. Internet, of course, electricity. And that's it. You're creating piece of California, like in Donbass, in Lviv, in Ternopil, wherever you want. It's just very fast. And you created this little industrial area, and then find investor. In Ukraine, you will always find builders who will build for you industrial buildings. Local government or local town administration just have to dedicate some land with access by road and bring first infrastructure. Then you just find investors, 5 people who interested to invest, and give them, of course, good taxes. Don't horrify them with hostilities. Let them develop, and then we'll develop everything else around it. Something like this, right?
Yes.
Maybe I'm oversimplifying.
Yes, you are totally right. First is like that you can add land with everything like electricity, water, and so. And second, for example, when you found investors, you can add in Slovak Republic is the same, and I think in European countries as well. That, for example, you give some advantages to these investors. That they don't need to pay taxes. They have some benefits, for example, from the state and so on. So it's like advantages for investors.
Yeah, attractions, right? Saying like, why us? Why us? Why you should bring your money here?
Exactly.
And this is very easy to attract investors. Say just, we cannot regulate like maybe national tax, but definitely we can help you with local tax for next 5 years or 10 years. And
exactly. For example, you don't need to pay local taxes for 5 or 10 years.
And then if businessmen hear something like this, he's saying, okay, interesting, and then tell me more, right? So it works in Slovakia and should work in Ukraine. Do you know working industrial parks in Ukraine? Can you name some?
I know a lot of. For example, I was many times in Uzhhorod. This is city in the border of Slovak Republic and Ukraine, and I remember the industrial park Solomonovo. And from my point of view, that was a successful industrial park. I don't want to tell about, for example, salary, yes, because this is not like for example, in Europe. But I think that this industrial park was in this industrial park was a lot of investors, and how you told that, for example, machine industry and so on. And I think a lot of people there had and have job positions. This industrial park is looking for a new staff as well. When I was there 2 years ago in Uzhhorod, I saw a lot of information that we are looking for people that come to join to work in these industrial parks for these companies.
Okay, I just quickly Googled in English Solomonovo Industrial Park, and
Yes.
I found a couple links, including government links, I see. But first one is Solomonovo Industrial Park. That's good. It's searchable. Okay, this is linked here to LinkedIn. You know this. All right. So,
Yes. Okay.
oh, okay. This is the page in this LinkedIn. Interesting. So they are searchable. It's very good. And this link is dated 2015. So they are for at least 5 years. Okay, yeah, good start. Actually, video here, huh? Interesting. Oh, look at this. I just play video quickly.
Yes, but I think that not all industrial parks are like, for example, Solomonovo that have
Industrial Park
marketing.
offers a great strategic advantage for your company, allowing you to gain easier and faster access to European Union markets.
It's not your voice, no?
Industrial Park Solomonovo
Someone nice graphical video.
has the land available for production facilities.
Excellent. It looks exactly like industrial park. This video, what I see.
It was initially designed from
It's big hangars, big garage,
It is the most
garages.
Yes, like hangar.
Hangars. Yes, it's
located
in Ukrainian
right in the
hangars.
middle of Europe.
Yeah, hangars with green fields, with place for workers just to relax during lunch, I think, to drink coffee and sit on grass, and of course a lot of roads in between. Oh, and also a railway right inside. Interesting.
Yes.
With
Yes, for Solomonovo, I read that they have railways indirectly in the industrial park.
It's a good example. Thank you. I didn't even know about Solomonovo, and it's right on border, which brings another advantage: inter-border relations. And yeah, Ukraine has now free trade agreement with with European Union and Canada too. But difference with Canada, you cannot put industrial park in Ukraine on border with Canada. There is no border, but you can do it.
Yeah.
You can definitely do it with on Slovakian border. All right, so you're saying it's successful. It's busy. The Solomonovo Park.
I think that for people there, like people are living in Uzhhorod or in Zakarpattia region, this industrial park is it's very good for that because a lot of people from Uzhhorod, Mukachevo can work there. But from my point of view, I know that in Zakarpattia is only one industrial park that I map. Maybe it's more, but from my official information, it's only this one. And Zakarpattia is a very big region. It's like one half or one of jedna tretina in Slovak language from Slovak Republic. And in, for example,
in Ukrainian,
yes, and in Slovak Republic, in Košice region, we have maybe 15 industrial parks.
Wow.
And in Zakarpattia, it's similar with area, it's only one.
Wow.
Industrial park.
Yeah, this is the potential, right?
Exactly.
And density of population is comparable to Slovakian, right? So a lot of workers potentially.
A lot of, I think that in Zakarpattia is living maybe 1,800,000 people or citizens, and in Košice region is living 700,000.
Wow, it's even more population. Huh.
Exactly, it's more population.
There is a challenge, I predict, on cultural side, because Zakarpattia in Ukraine, it was always known as a very entrepreneurial region. And entrepreneurial and not the industrial way somehow. For example, if you talk about Mariupol, east of Ukraine, southeast, it's also entrepreneurial, less than Zakarpattia. I'm talking about entrepreneurship, about business inclining, right? But they're tending to create something big in southeast of Ukraine. In region of Zakarpattia, to my knowledge, they tend to build something small. They can build very beautiful houses. They can build infrastructure around houses. I don't know if they are industrially inclined comparing to southeast. I'm talking about cultural things, right?
Yes.
I think in Slovakia you have the same challenge, right? Some regions, I heard from my Slovakian friend, right?
It's totally true. What are you talking? I was in not only in Ulhorod, for example, but I was 150 kilometers from borders, and I visited a lot of villages, for example, in Zakarpattia. And yes, it's like the houses there are very nice, but I think it's different other part of Ukraine.
But anyway, it's all changing, right? Once they see this opportunity, once they see that something big created, it's shiny, it's traffic there, they will pay more attention to it, and they will have some first success stories, and then they will learn from each other and say, hey, let's put our energy to this. And of course,
yes.
Built in already entrepreneurship, it will help. We have regions, I don't want to even name regions, but in Eastern Europe for sure, people more laid back than Zakarpattia. They kind of more rely on government. Zakarpattia is very not relying on government, historically, for a long time. They are self-sufficient, and it's good for business. It has business potential even culturally. When we talk about industrial parks, what's beauty about industrial parks? It can be cluster, like automotive, right? When we need a lot of businesses around one product, or it can be like in North Montreal, where I used to work. So they don't have one product. It's not only automotive. It's also construction. Next to it, it's hangar with something producing for medical.
Exactly. For example, I can tell my experience. When I was working for Slovak agency according to investment, we visited a lot of Slovak industrial parks, and I remember, for example, industrial park is near in Košice, in Kechnec. It's the biggest industrial park when I remember that has more than 300 hectares. And in these industrial parks are a lot of hangars, and each hangar has a company for not only one industry. Yes, so one hangar is automotive, another hangar is a company for example, kapusta. It's potraviny. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what's
like
kapusta.
Like food, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, so you can have in one industrial park a lot of companies from a lot of industry, not only from one.
It's all up to you. You can do it for one. You can concentrate or something, right? So like Silicon Valley, a lot of clusters, industrial buildings, all about IT, right? But also next to it, it's not IT. It's some car show. It also can be industrial park.
Exactly. It's up to investors, up to owner of the industrial park, so up to government. Want to
Totally.
do this industrial park.
It can be the local government. If they have some strategy, they can provoke local business to invest to some particular things, or from other end, local businesses can come with some idea, or without any idea, just develop what they need to develop, just rent part of hangar or whole hangar. What's important about industrial parks? It's creating this atmosphere for high productivity. How to say? It's a cultural thing also. When you enter industrial zone, you want to be productive. It's like work camp. I don't know how to explain. It's the atmosphere there, how everything organized. In Kyiv, for example, it's a big industrial city. It was more industrial than now. Now it's more service. But say 20 years ago, 30, no, especially Soviet time, it was very industrial. There is a lot of small factories all around city. But if you work there, you kind of, you work in... you step out of factory and you see very relaxing atmosphere, like music, fancy cars, stuff like this. And it's kind of discouraging you. You think, okay, I have to run out of this factory. I have to finish my job and forget about it. Something like this. It's cultural even thing. When you're in big industrial cluster inside, you stick inside. Your productivity grows. You go for lunch, you're not spoiled with picture. I mean, you have TV in lunchroom. You have the window to real world all around you, motivating you to be productive. Interesting cultural moment. Are you agree?
Of course, yes, you are totally right with this. Yes, it's like, for example, when you are in a classroom, yes, and you have classmates and everybody is working or studying, and you want to work or study as well. You don't want to be like loser or something. And it's similar to industrial parks. When it's like cluster, everybody wants to be productive, because when you see that other company is productive and my company is not, for me it's very bad. Negative energy and so yes, of course, you're totally right.
Yeah, you can compare your traffic. Let's say you're right. You see your hangar or your office and it's not busy, but office next to you is busy. So you think, okay, what's wrong with me? Like, what's wrong with my business? How I can make it more productive? Create this mass effect. Interesting. And your application, of course, again, thank you, Sergey, for doing this. I was looking for something like this for long. Of course, I found some links online and information which is available online, a little bit frustrating. I'm very surprised that Solomonov has this video with exactly visual part of like hangars, you can see infrastructure, roads. So it really looks like industrial park. But many industrial parks, they have some, 10 lines with phone numbers saying like, oh, we're very good, but I mean, some picture of doors. But again, if they just start, if the industrial park just starting, put picture of land where it is located, right? Show where the roads, where even the roads are not perfect, but just graphically show it. Like draw lines with pencil. I don't know, just explain where and how to access it and what's around.
Exactly. And for example, for that, I wanted to add to this application like interactive map, because you can zoom in, zoom out, and you see, for example, where this industrial park is and what kind of road is going to this industrial park or not going, and so on. And only for the information, yes, my roots are from Ukraine and I like Ukraine. I like Ukrainian food, for example, and culture as well, people as well. But I think that this new technology, like you are using in mobile phones, a lot of general directors or finance directors are using iPhone every time, every day, everywhere. And by one click, they can download this application, has maybe 20 mega, so it's not a lot, and can, for example, show in iPad or in iPhone to other staff or to board of directors. And for example, when they are in an airplane and so on, and it's like very easy to use. And it's like modern technology.
And very important to have something like this. People underestimating power of this. They think, oh, okay, if someone interested, if someone has money, they will invest time, hire some research. No, they won't. This is interesting, right? Money, they are fast. Yes. Very often, sporadic decisions somewhere in plane, you're right. You downloaded it, you're sitting in plane, you're scrolling, and creating general image just by scrolling. That's why...
Yes, and very important thing that I send this information to guy which I'm in contact from ministry. And very good is that you can compare, for example, statistical information that from which country this application was downloaded. And of course, this application will not download by kid, by child, yes, because it doesn't make sense. Of course, it's possible, but not a lot of child will download this application. But this application will be downloaded by people who are totally interested in this topic.
And when you download your application, now more technical question, you not pre-downloading pictures and other parks, right? You will still need internet connection for that, right? For any particular park.
Everything what is in this application is directly there. So you don't need internet connection. When you want download it one time, you have everything in this application.
All right. So all pictures already there, right?
Yes, exactly.
Interesting. So you can fly them and you have all database already sitting in your computer.
Yes.
Great. Next will be for you Android. Are you considering some desktop version?
This is a very good question. I checked this, and ministry has some website according to showing this application, showing these industrial parks in desktop. It's Google Maps, I think. I was thinking about it. Maybe I will, because it's a good idea. So why not? It's not so hard to develop this.
Yeah. HTML5, right? That's what you do? Use HTML5 probably.
Yes.
And HTML5 can work everywhere, right? Desktop or in phones.
Yes, for this you don't need Android or iPhone. You can use a lot of phones, and doesn't matter if you have Android, iPhones. You can check it, but you need of course internet connection.
Slovakia, Ukraine, very close to each other, and I mean culturally, right? Slovakian language is very close to Ukrainian.
Very good point, by the way. I'm speaking with my girlfriend right now. We started in English, but now she's learning Slovak language, but we speaking like Ukrainian Slovak, something like that. Because a lot of words are very similar or are the same. And very good is that, for example, food is very similar.
Yes, right. But Ukraine and Slovakia, of course, has a lot of differentiation of food, like depending on the region.
Yes. But pierogi You have as well in Ukraine.
Oh yes, vareniki we call it in Ukraine, pirogi in Slovakia, in Poland, in western part of Ukraine, and in Canada. We have pirogis here. Yes, we have pirogis in Western Canada, very popular dish. Chinese, for example, coming from Vietnam or China, opening here all-you-can-eat restaurants, and they have pirogis. They have pirogis there. And they add to Chinese food pirogis because it's so popular locally.
Amazing.
And sometimes kolbasa. It's called kolbasa.
Yes, but this is for Eastern Europe, for each nation, kolbasa is very popular.
But it's called here kolbasa with double S. And can you imagine you entering Vietnamese all-you-can-eat restaurant, and there is like noodles and traditional Vietnamese stuff and kolbasa just next to it, or pierogis, and then wonton soup.
In Vietnamese restaurant, yes?
Yes. They add here in Western Canada. They're trying to attract locals, right? With local things. Yes. Interesting.
I know a lot of Ukrainian people. They are working in Košice, in the city where I'm living, and they are very friendly, very good, and this is the important. They want to work.
Yeah, hardworking people. By the way, Ukraine has an interesting moment, very interesting moment now, very promising moment. We don't have left wing in power, trade unions not very strong, so they're not demanding high salaries. Many people have still very industrial background, especially in central Ukraine and southeast of Ukraine and Kiev, and actually all over Ukraine, because Ukraine was, for the last 70 years, I believe as Slovakia as well, they suppressed religion for long. We still have in our blood this taste, I think, for industrial success. And if government, modern liberal government, switch the gear and let us Ukrainians and Slovakians believe that industrial success is attractive, and industrial parks actually what's the best approach. Now, we don't need to build big factories, right? We build first industrial parks. And if industrial park grow to big factory, it's good. If not, it's okay. If it will be just small. This is beauty of industrial parks.
Exactly. It's like that. For example, when one country don't want to have industrial parks, doesn't want to have industrial parks, other country wants to have. So which investor could go to this country, will not go there, but will go to other country. And could give job position to the people.
True, but how you can afford today don't have industrial parks? Industrial parks are flexible from stage 2. Stage 1, you bring all pipes and roads, and from stage 2 is flexible. It depends on market, it depends on local government preferences, it depends on suppliers around. It's much more flexible. If you build factory, it's from day one, it's built for producing something specific, right? And then, if market change, you're screwed.
It's totally true. For example, when you have factory according to the metallurgy, we have, for example, here in Slovak Republic, US Steel, and this factory is very, very big, but it's only it's not like how you told, movable or something. But industrial parks could be very flexible. You can add a lot of other companies, for example, according to the trade, to the business. When this company is not like or had problems, you could get another company, for example, but with one factory, it's not so easy, or it's not possible.
It's time we're running out of time, let's say this way.
Okay.
Sergey, thank you very much for this actualization of IP, which means not only IP protocol, but industrial parks as well. So
you're welcome.
And
thank you.
And thank you very much for bringing it to Ukraine from Slovakia, your project. And please keep doing it, keep developing it. We will be following.
Yeah, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. And yes, I think that we will in contact, and I wish you everything good and have a nice day.
Have a nice day, Sergey.
Yes, thanks. Bye.
Bye.